have a very important talk that I would like to share with you guys. 2 days ago, I went to my friend. Her name is Peggy, and she's a nurse. And she does my Botox for me regularly, like 3 to 4 times a year. So I went to Peggy to get my Botox, and as usual, I talked to Peggy about certain things that were bothering me about aging. Now, Peggy is about my age, and she looks phenomenal. She looks young, she looks natural, she looks healthy, she's darling. So of course, when I'm there to get my Botox, I'm always like looking at her thinking, how come she looks so good? Of course, I think, well, she does work for a plastic surgeon. So, and she's very knowledgeable. She's very educated in the field of cosmetic surgery herself. So I have always, for the last year or so, I have talked to her about that I don't like that I'm sinking in under my eyes. And then a year or so later goes by and I say, what about this? What about this? What about this? What can I do for that? And, then I say, well, my friends did this, my friends did that, and it looked great, and I want to do that too. And so Peggy talked to me, and she said, you know what? Why don't you make a date to have a consult with the cosmetic surgeon? So I was like, yes, I'm going to do that. So I had the consult today with the cosmetic surgeon. And so I was in my little consult room, and so he came in. And remember, I had a facelift 17 years ago when I was 50. So 17 years later, I'm looking, I'm sinking in, I'm marionetting, I'm bunnying, I'm lines. I've got a big scar right here on my eye. So the doctor came in, and he's a well-known doctor in Palm Springs. So he looked over my chart, and then we sat knee to knee. And he said, look right here at my glasses. He was wearing some glasses. He said, look right here at my glasses. Do not raise your eyebrows. Just look straight at me. And I did. And he really looked at me, and he checked me out, and he, turn your head. Let me feel here. Let me feel there. Let me do this. Let me do that. And so after he checked me out, this is what he told me. He said, I'm going to start from the bottom up on what I think you need. And I said, great. And he said, see, your neck has a bit of fat here. And I could liposuction that fat out, and I could tighten these neck muscles so that so that this line would be nicer. He said, I would do that. Then, I'm crossing my leg. Then he said, I would do that. And then he said, for this and for this, I would pull that up. And then he said, I would put fat transfers right in here. And he said he did not like my ears right here. He said he wanted to cut my ears and re-pierce them, which I totally agree. And then he said I would end it all with an erbium face laser. So I was in complete agreement. He said, you don't need anything done to your eyes. You need this liposucked. You need this tightened a tiny bit, not a lot. You need fat transfers right in here. He also said he'd put a little fat transfer right in here and a little in my lips. And then fix my earlobes and erbium laser. And I said, what about my décolleté? Because it's crunchy. And he said, I will erbium laser your décolleté, but he said, I cannot go deep here because this is very thin skin. So what you should do is I can start with an erbium laser, as with your face, and then after that, go for a series of IPL lasers, and then take some time to work on this to make it look less crinkly. So I said, sounds great. I said, you know what? You've hit on every single thing that I was thinking. And I said, what do you think about that? I think this side of my face is lower than that side of my face. He said, no, it's not. Millimeters, maybe. And I'm not going to worry about that. I was like, okay. So anyway, then he left the room. I really liked him. Then he left the room and he sent in his surgical assistant. And she brought me into her office, and then we talked numbers. We talked money. And it was quite a bit more expensive than what I was thinking. I'm going to tell you that I'm almost embarrassed to tell you how much it is. It's a little over $22,000. I know that many of you might say I don't need it, but I will tell you that I look a lot better in my videos than I do in person. And I'm 67. I thought I was 68, but I'm 67. Hallelujah. That I'm not 68, but 67. And if I'm going to get something done, I should do it now. Now, I'm going to have to figure out creative ways of coming up with the financing, but I'm pretty sure 98% that I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it for a while. I have my Kauai vacation planned. After that, I have my 50th class reunion. Then after that, I'm shooting for June, the middle of June. And so if you're like-minded with me, or if you're curious about this journey that I'm going to be going on, then stay tuned, follow along, come along with me. So anyway, this is Cindy, and until our next conversation.
Some might say